Hello, my name is Gabe Zollner. Ever wonder what Obama's and his organization's real objective is? Well, if you think about it, what he's done is he's created a lot of diversionary tactics. You know, he's like switching bait, look over here, but don't look over there. I'm doing this, but I'm really doing that. And what he's done is he's actually, and his organizations, they've been masterful at pulling the wool over American people's eyes. And how he's done that is he came out with Obamacare. And he tried to pretend that what he really cares about is bringing insurance, medical insurance, to the masses. But being as stupid as his administration is, they failed to understand a couple of important factors. Doctors aren't going to work for free. And there aren't enough doctors, even if they wanted to work for free, there aren't enough doctors that are present, and there aren't enough doctors that are going to stay as doctors once they end up having to work for the government. But that's not what he wants to do. You see, that's what he wants you to think he wants to do. And really, what he wants to do is exactly what he's doing. When the Obamacare thing finally got itself sort of established as being what's going to happen to this country, he then came out with this fiscal cliff. And again, he's taking the focus of the American people off of the real issue. And how he did that? By attacking the 2%ers, or the 1%ers. What people have to understand is even if he got all that money that he wants to get, that he says he should get, that'll run the federal government for 8.5 days. That isn't what he wants to do. That's what he wants you to think that he wants to do. Well, what does he really want to do? Well, I think he made that very evident. And he made it very evident in a number of ways. One of the ways is how he's distanced himself from Israel. He's actually only went there once when he was a senator. He never went there as president, but yet he was next door numerous times, bending down and kissing the ring of the king of Saudi Arabia. What's interesting is that what he has done is he's allowed Egypt to totally be in control of the Muslim Brotherhood. Hosni Mubarak was a friend of the United States and a friend of Israel for 35 years. He wasn't perfect. Who is? Show me one president that was perfect. But what he did do, he did the same thing that Gaddafi did in Libya and Assad did and is doing in Syria, or has been doing in Syria. And that is to keep out the Muslim Brotherhood. And now, Obama went ahead and he gave weapons to the insurgents in Libya. And when they couldn't really defeat Gaddafi's forces, he sent in our Air Force, and they bombed the you-know-what out of the military, and then they ended up being toppled, and Gaddafi got dragged to the streets like a dog. And I understand he was also sodomized. That seems to be a favorite sport of some Muslims. Anyway, so now, then, he's already got that under control. Then he puts his focus onto where? He puts it onto Syria. Why? Because he wants to get rid of Assad. Why? Because Assad and his father started it 40 years ago, he got rid of the Brotherhood. Well, so he's giving them weapons, and then he gets involved in this little confrontation in Libya over at Benghazi. Now, I'm sure that wasn't supposed to go the way it went. And the only reason it went the way it went was because we had 2 ex-Navy SEALs. And they're trained to go to the sound of gunfire. They were ordered 3 times to stand down. The only person that can order them to stand down is Obama. The only person that could have allowed military intervention into another sovereign nation is Obama. What did he do? Well, he was between a rock and a hard place. He couldn't offer support, because if he offered support, then he would be attacking the radical Muslims. And the radical Muslims thought it was going to be a cakewalk. They were going to go in, they're going to grab Christopher, the ambassador, and then they were going to go ahead and do a trade with the blind sheik, and Obama would have been a hero. And he would have made the president of Egypt, Morsi, very happy, because he could have kept the promise that he made when he got inaugurated. He said, I'm going to free the blind sheik. I'm going to bring him back. And he also said that I'm going to make Jerusalem the capital of Egypt. So now what's happening is Morsi, being the kind of whacked out guy that he is, he decided that, you know what, I'm president, but that isn't enough. I want to be pharaoh. And then what he did is put himself above any and every law. Well, that didn't sit too well with the Egyptian people, so they're still dealing with that. How it's going to shake out? Personally, I think that Morsi is going to stay in power, and the Brotherhood is going to stay in power, and Sharia law is going to be the law of the land. Now, not only will it be the law of the land in Egypt, it'll also be the law of the land in Libya. And then, once they get rid of Assad, it'll be the law of the land in Syria. What's next? Jordan. So it sure looks like we're doing a lot of work for a lot of other people, and mainly the king of Saudi Arabia, because they're where the Muslim Brotherhood and Sharia law really is incredibly well entrenched. It's almost like the focal point. So, what do I think? I think Obama is a radical extremist Muslim, and his objective is, was, and will be, if he's allowed to remain in power, to bring the Sharia law to this country. Everything that he has done is to bring that exactly here as an eventuality. Everything else that he's done is nothing more than a diversion. That's all it is. He jumped on that healthcare thing because that's what Hillary wanted to do when Billy and Hillary were running around in the White House. That's why he jumped on that. He could care less about providing healthcare to anyone. That isn't the objective. The objective is Sharia law, the caliphate. You don't believe it? Watch. If he's allowed to remain, watch what happens to this country.